Davion, I guess, what was how much different were these two games against Marquette? They seem to be, kind of up and down, and them being pretty much unstoppable. What was the difference?
The first time we played them, right after Maurice's injury, it was a little bit more emotion, towards the game. So we played with a lot more fight, in my opinion, than this time starting off in the first half. But this game, when I was playing, it seemed like in the second half we played with a little bit more grit. That it could have served us well in the first half. Which the scouting report from the coaches was great. We just didn't execute it to our best ability.
Your first, shot at number one point guard reps came with that first game against Marquette. What's been the growth like for you between these two games? Now that you have an ability to compare two games over a long stretch of period for you in your development.
Through the good times and the bad times throughout that stretch, I wouldn't trade the experience that I'm getting for anything. It's been real hard, but, like I said, I wouldn't trade it because it's helped me as a person off the court. But on the court, I feel like I've grown better with my teammates and trust, and they know that I can step up and do some good things for them.
Davion, you mentioned the scouting report. What were the biggest keys against this team, and in what ways did you think you guys maybe weren't able to get it done defensively against them?
Just the simple things like going under ball screens on shooters, boxing out. It's a big thing we've been facing. We haven't been boxing out as well, especially on the defensive side. So, if we just do simple things like that, it'll help us tremendously.
And then the other thing, just on offense, you guys shot it pretty well, but there were some turnovers. Did you feel like maybe early on in the first half even that you sped up a little bit, or what did you see just in terms of just turning over a little bit?
The turnovers that we had in the first half, I think it was 9. It was just most plays it was just unsure turnovers. It wasn't like deliberate, like just bad plays. It was just plays where, just guys, even myself, pushing in transition. It was just an unsure play. You just got stuck, and then they were in a good spot defensively and got the ball.
From a defensive perspective, when Marquette is as hot as they were for that stretch, really the first 3 quarters of the game, what do they do that makes them so effective? What makes them so tough to stop?
Personally, I think it's just the way, like, how they just swing the ball and then catch it in rhythm. And most of the guys on the perimeter, even like their 4, can shoot the ball and make shots. So, it's dangerous when you have a good guard that can get downhill and, spray it out to the shooters and they can make shots. So.
Davion, I'm sorry. Coach here.
Oh, okay.
He's going to go radio. He's going to go radio. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry for the wait, so thanks for your patience.
We got Coach McDermott, Khyri Thomas, and a statement, then we'll take questions from the gentleman.
Marquette's really hard to stop. I thought our team 4 years ago was one of the better teams that I've been around in terms of spacing the floor, making you respect so many guys beyond the three-point line, but this team is certainly right there. We came into the night, trying to run them off the three-point line, and they still get 28 of them up and make 14 of them. And, when Johnson makes 4 out of 7, that just changes what you can possibly do. His numbers on the year and in conference play aren't near where some of the other guys are. So somebody's got to take that role, and you pick and choose your spots on who to help off of. And, he was obviously the first half is much different if he shoots it more like he shot it all year rather than the way he shot it tonight. But it's senior day, and he stepped up in a big way and was certainly the difference in the game.
I guess, Mac, there were times, I know it's probably going to be hard to recall a high-possession game like that, but there were a few times where you guys had trimmed the lead down to single digits, maybe 4 or 3 possessions, and just couldn't quite get one final push to get it tied or put a lot of pressure on them. What were the difference in those situations, did you think?
Well, a few of them were turnovers when we had opportunities, and, we've got to cut that back. We'd been a team really all year that has done a great job of taking care of the basketball. And the last few games, I think we had 17 the other night and 15 here today, and that's too many. You can't give Marquette that many chances with the way they shoot the basketball because they're, it's just a matter of time before they hit you with, 3 3-point shots in 5 possessions somewhere. It's just what they do. And, we had a few good looks from 3 at the rim that we didn't finish when we had a chance to maybe grab some of the momentum in the game. We weren't able to do it. But a lot of that as well is a credit to them.
Khyri, what was the plan defensively from, just a schematic standpoint? I mean, obviously they spread you out so much. I mean, what were you guys trying to take away from them today, and how successful were you at it?
Kind of like what Coach Mack said, run them off the three-point line. But, I mean, when you got guys that's, 6'6" and like 16 that can shoot and spread the floor, I mean, it's kind of hard to stop. But we really just try to put Howard and Rousey in a tough ball screen situation and try to help, get them to pick up the ball. But once they pick it up, there's always somebody wide open knocking down a 3. So that was kind of tough.
Khyri, I think they jumped out to a 10-point lead pretty quickly, but you guys were able to sort of hang in and then fight your way back. What did you do offensively to get back in it?
Offensively, we kind of slowed down and took our time. We had way too many turnovers, part of that being me. But, yeah, we kind of slowed down after, like, one timeout, and we just talked about, like, everybody slow down. We're all getting, rushed. It's there, but, sometimes they could run through the passing lane and get a steal. So we just kind of slowed it down and took our time with the ball screen situation, found the open man, knocked down shots, and just start being aggressive.
Did things open up for you a little bit more? I don't know if they were shading more to Marcus at all, but what did you see just finding your way into the lane and creating for yourself and others?
I was just trying to be aggressive. I mean, they were kind of, doing a lot of help side stuff. So once the ball got skipped to me, it was either shot or just, attack the basket or attack the gap for a wide open lane, and it kind of went well for me.
Hey, Greg, you guys like to score. Obviously, Marquette's at their best when they score. I think they're undefeated when they get 90 points. What kind of pressure does that put on other teams when you're very prolific offensively?
Yeah, it's difficult, and I came into the game maybe thinking, we should walk it up a little bit more, especially after a made shot, and maybe try to control the tempo. But the start of the game, we tried to do that. It's just not who we are. And even though we're obviously down a man and a little banged up, we just felt we had to play with pace, and because that's who we are, that's who they are. But anytime you're a team that can, attack in transition and you're comfortable shooting the 3-point shot in transition, that's hard to stop. And that's who we are, and right now Marquette's even a better version of that.
Coach, with Marquette's victory tonight, it looks like there's a serious chance the Big East could get 7 teams into the tournament. Do you think that that's deserved?
There's no question. We've played a lot of those teams the last couple weeks, and there's great basketball in this league. We knew it coming into the league. Villanova is a defending national champion, and obviously some injuries have derailed ourselves and Xavier a little bit. But Marquette, Providence, Seton Hall, who am I forgetting? Xavier have all played great basketball. Obviously, Butler's had a terrific year. So, I hope on Selection Sunday that 7 of us are called because I think they're all deserving. It's a great basketball league, and if you win half your games or more in this league, you deserve to play in the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned how impressed you are with Marquette's offense. What is it, or how impressive is it to see what they were last year and kind of how Ellenson-centric they were to being the offensive team they are now?
Well, their personnel's so different. So, and they've made some changes even the last couple weeks. When you stick Howard and Rousey out on the floor with Reinhardt and Hauser, you've got some decisions to make defensively. And the games that they've lost are the games they haven't shot it well. And I'm not sure anybody's really figured out how to keep them from shooting. It's just if they shoot 35 or 37% versus 45 to 50%, that's a big difference, as many as they put up in the air. And the games, that they've had trouble with, they haven't shot it as well. And tonight, this afternoon, was not one of those games.
I guess this is another game where Ronnie and Martine seem to bring a lot of energy off the bench. They seem to have a quicker trigger in those 50-50 balls and not maybe thinking so much about diving on the floor. Is that what you're seeing out of them in practice, and that's why maybe they've gotten a little more time here lately?
Well, yeah, they practice well, and then when they go in the game, they make those plays. So obviously you're a lot more confident and comfortable from a coaching standpoint of throwing them in there to try to change the game with effort. And was our challenge to the team after the game is, You know, why are there 3 or 4 guys flying all over and not the 10 guys who played? You know, everybody has to make that effort. It can't be a conscious effort to look at the ball and try to decide whether you're going to dive on it. You just have to dive on it. And we had some guys that really sold out their bodies to try to make a play for their team, and frankly, we need more of that. Thank you.